Well, the 2015 Mustang is nothing new at this show per se, but this is a fairly fresh model. We've got the rag top right next to the fastback, which is the yellow car, the deep background, which you've probably seen quite a bit of. Ford's done a real major redo on this car. It still looks like a Mustang, clearly, but it's less parodic, if you will. It doesn't have that kind of big haunches and squared off face look, although it's much wider in the back now in actual measurements compared to the previous vehicle, which gives it a more interesting stance and perhaps better road dynamics as well. Now, if the body of the new Mustang's different, that ain't nothing compared to this new engine. This is the new entrant, a 2.3-liter turbocharged inline 4. They haven't had a turbo 4 in a Mustang since a limited production SVO back in the mid-80s. This is big news. They haven't published horsepower numbers on it yet, but guess around 300, a little bit more than that. This is also an engine that's going to slot in the middle of the line. The base engine remains a 3.7 V6, and of course you still have the big boy, the 5-liter V8. That's iconic. They could never get rid of that. But this is a very different story. Coupled with a revised 6-speed manual with a better shift linkage, they say, and a slightly revised 6-speed automatic, which for the first time will have paddle shifters on the wheel. Big news in the butt, even though you won't see it, is an independent rear suspension underneath the rear quarters. Aside from some special models in the past, Mustangs have always had this kind of agricultural technology, a solid rear axle that meant when you went around a corner and got any kind of pavement unevenness, the rear end could end up just about anywhere. That's a nasty habit it will lose. Now inside, I'm seeing much better materials. Mustang's been getting better and better at that, but they gotta stay nip and tuck with Camaro, which is a very close horse race. Here's something new, My Ford Touch in the dash for the first time. There's more of a chrome metal feel on some of the buttons than just this kind of plastic. Toggle switches down here are very historically retro. Push button start for the first time. Paddle shifters with the automatic for the first time, and they're also gonna revise the shift linkage on the manual. Notice you've got a very strong hearkening back to the second generation Mustang in particular here with these eyebrows on each side. This vehicle comes out in fall of 2014. By then we'll have actual pricing and some of those horsepower numbers on that rather remarkable 4-cylinder turbo.